A very good morning to you. Welcome to another beautiful Monday morning. My name is James Sukum. Motivation Monday is here with us again, and we thank the Lord. Even this weekend, as we celebrate that Jesus came, He died, He was buried, He resurrected from the dead, and He is alive. It's interesting. Usually when we look at Christian holidays, whether it's Christmas or whether, it is celebrating the death and resurrection of Christ Jesus, a lot of us may celebrate, but the question then is, do you really have faith in God? Are you in a place where you can honestly say that you have a relationship with Him, you believe in Him, you're walking with Him? Or are you just, sometimes I keep saying, a lot of people say they're Christian simply because they have a Christian name, or because I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Christian, because I'm not a Hindu, I'm a Christian, because I was born in a Christian family, I'm a Christian. But does it work that way? This morning on Motivation Monday, going to have a very interesting conversation as we talk about coming from that place of no faith in God to a place of being in faith and having complete faith in God. I've got an amazing guest who will be joining us shortly as we dig deeper into this discussion, and I pray that this discussion will inspire you. If you are the kind of person who says you're a Christian but you really don't believe in God, you go through the things that we believe a Christian should do. Just because you go to church, you believe you're a Christian, or because you do in this, but you haven't really committed your life to God and you don't have faith in Him. I pray that today's conversation will be able to inspire you to get from where you are to a place of having faith in God. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. 5 minutes after 8, Motivation Monday. This morning, we get to hang out with Rakesh Sharma. Rakesh is an evangelist. Rakesh, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm fine. Thank you, James. Pastor James, thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show today and to just talk to us. We appreciate that.
Agreeing what? I'm blessed, and it's my pleasure to be with you and with the guys watching us and listening. And it's a blessing, especially a time like this. Happy Easter to all of you.
Awesome. So, Rakesh, I'm wondering, were you born in a Christian family?
No, I was not born in a Christian family. I was born in a Hindu family.
Okay.
Yes.
So how?
And I was born in India. I was not born in Kenya.
Oh, so when did you come to Kenya?
It's back. It's long back. It's almost 35 years. 1985.
Wow. Oh, okay. So how was life like growing up in a Hindu family?
Well, it's not easy to explain in a few minutes, but to summarize that, you just go and worship the idol, believing that this is God, and we just bow down to the idol and do some rituals and some kind of things that till today I don't understand why I was doing all this, but that is how it has been the practice. And moreover, I was not very old. I mean, up to 15, 16, you don't do much. And before 25, I was even out of my place. I was out of India.
Okay.
So it was a very short period, but surely it was a bit of experience, hard to explain, but a little, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you end up becoming a Christian? What happened?
Well, there are several things. First of all, I came to Kenya as a teacher, and when I came to, and most of the students, almost 95% of them were African Christian students, and the most of the colleagues, African Kenyan colleagues, were Christians. So there was a lot of influence and moreover, there is sometimes. Not sometimes. I was in a boarding school, so there was a Sunday service inside the school. Because some of them they are not allowed to go out. So in the dining hall there are services. So sometimes I was attending, and soon I was headmaster. So it was like a responsibility to ensure the discipline is good in the hall when there is meeting going on. So all is going as a churchy thing, not some kind of nonsense. So, well, there was a lot of influence. And then also one great thing, I would call it a great thing, that I married a Christian woman.
Wow.
And who is full of faith. So the great influence came through her, from her.
Wow. I'm just wondering, when you are a teacher and you're going for these Christian services, what are some of the things you are thinking? Having been brought up in a different background, a different religion, now you are here, you're a teacher in this school, they have their Christian services and you're there. What are some of the things you are thinking?
Not thinking, it was like amazing. It was like they are rejoicing and dancing to the Lord and having, I don't think they were that happy, but sometimes they can even fake it to make it. So I love it, although it could be happening, some other religions or something, but it was, to me, it's a very nice experience. So I was even joining them intentionally, especially because of worship.
Okay.
So, and then sometimes not so much understanding the Bible, but worship time, they're very good.
Yeah. Okay. What was the reaction of your colleagues and the students when you joined them? Because sometimes I find that, we have this mindset, if I'm in a Christian, if I'm in a church service and I see an Indian man or woman walking in, I kind of get a bit shocked. I don't know why, but it's just how we've been brought up. So I'm just wondering, when you are there with them in the services, what was their reaction? What are some of the things they would say?
It's just like I don't know how to describe, just like in a village when a small child see a Muzungu or a Mohindi walking, then their eyes are like this, or their eyes are like this. What is this, So they don't understand, is he really, enjoying, or is he, sometimes people are so amazed. Even till today, by the way, all this journey is almost the same when I'm having some communication while we are paying the bill at the counter of the supermarket, and I'm saying, don't worry, this COVID will go, rejoice in hope. People wonder, what is this he's talking about? It's almost the same as it is written in Bible. So everybody is amazed when they look at it, and even they say, are you Christian? I say, no, I'm not Christian, but I'm trying to become Christian. To be a Christian is not easy.
Wow, I find that interesting. So at what point did you decide, you know what, I want to give my life to the Lord and I want to serve Him?
Every time I did silly mistakes, every time I'm so careless, accidents and so many failures, and I could see that it is God who is saving me, and I'm thinking it is me who is driving my life, and I will, if you give me time, I can recall, but it's specifically one after the other when I'm going higher to the ladder of my profession or achievements. Then I'm thinking everything myself, but then there are some setbacks. Then I feel it is God who saved me. Otherwise, I could have been zero and crushed to pieces. And especially 2-3 incidents whether I face gunmen, whether I face, there are places where you more than 2-3 times faced gunmen, and sometimes the severe road accidents, and you feel, how come I escaped? It is God, and if I don't give my life to God, I will go to hell, and I'm nothing, because in the profession it's only the where you can your efforts can bring the achievements, but most of the life things are by God's grace.
That is so true. And I think sometimes we take it for granted. One of the things I find, Rakesh, I don't know what you think about this. I find that for people who are in another religion, when they become Christians, they become even more serious than those of us who are born in Christian families. I know several people who are from another religion, and they became Christians. I don't know if you find the same thing.
No, it is. I will try to summarize. It says familiarity breeds contempt. You are just so used to, you will see the African Kenyans who go to study India. They travel more in India than the Indians themselves. Because they find, this is fun. The traveling is easier than in Kenya and all that. So you're so used to, and when you are changed to a new thing, good thing, you enjoy more. There are people who eat even more variety of food when they go from Kenya than the Indians itself, because they have always been seeing the variety, but they have not tried the variety. But people go from outside because they see, let me taste it.
Familiarity breeds contempt. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you face any kind of resistance or opposition, maybe from family or from your community, when you decided, you know what, I'm a Christian?
No, every community, right from the time when Jesus faced it. Why he faced it? Because they knew this is something better, but we are not better. Like from Pharisees and Sadducees and all the chief priests of the law, teachers of the law. Why he faced? Because somehow they could not adopt it because of their traditions, but they knew this is better. So even till today, I'm facing it, whether from my family. But in fact, I have hardly any friends who are not of Christian, or even I can say leave aside Christian. I think I cannot count even one single friend who is Asian community, but he's of another faith, because sometimes it is hard for them to understand. They say that it's like shame on you that you are not doing the right thing, so try to avoid me. I feel like that they I don't know, but I'm facing a kind of persecution. I'm facing kind of hardship when it comes to I'm not really preaching to them, but I declare that, look, this is what I was born, but this is what I believe. So the kind of rejection is there.
Okay. Are there any members of your family, of your community, who have looked at your life and they've thought, okay, I think I want what you have, and they have also become Christians?
It is unfortunate that the lifestyle they see is not possible, because we just talk once these days. For last 5 years it's on WhatsApp, but we hardly talk. Sometimes it is hard to see them, the lifestyle, but I'm sure it would have happened if I was there back in India. So yeah, I'm here. I'm with only my wife and my family, my kids.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
By God's grace, with one son and one daughter.
Wow. How old are they?
I think people, and you will know that I'm plus 60, because my first son is 37.
Wow. You don't look that old.
That's why I told you that once you asked me how old, that's the last question I would like to answer. But that is also my blessing from God, that I should say. And my daughter is 32. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. So are you part of a church?
Not only part of church, by God's grace, I'm very much part of church. I'm very much, in fact, that's one blessing. Before I tell you I'm part of church, that's one blessing. My kids say that, however, he was so busy, he never spent time with us, but there is not even a single Sunday that he did not take us to church. So that is one thing that they understand, that till today, when they are with the Lord, they are very much with the fellowship, the relationship with the Lord. They say, simply because I never missed to take them on Sunday, even if I was working on Saturdays up to 6 o'clock, sometimes on working days up to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, but Sundays we always had kind of family time and church time. So till today, I'm a member of the church, and I'm very much, even these days we miss a lot. In October back, we were so excited, but unfortunately, well, we can't call it unfortunately, because all things work for the good, and God knows why He's protecting us, how He's protecting us, because God is everywhere. So I cannot really say that it is unfortunate, but God knows. Yeah.
Very true. So which church do you fellowship at?
Presently, I have been going many churches. There is a church, St. Mark Westland, where it's so nice. Before it was in Buruburu, where I lived, St. James, and many. St. James, Buruburu. And when I was living in other towns like Meru, Nakuru, Kissi, and Naivasha, and many other towns I have lived, as I told you, I have been a teacher, so I was having transfer. Well, currently, as I was for 10 years back, when my children were back in Kenya, they were growing, and we were in the ICC Mombasa Road, International Christian Center on Mombasa Road in South Nairobi West. And also presently I'm by God's grace. By the way, these churches are, some of these present ICC and the River of God, they are under the umbrella of the leadership of Bishop Philip Kitoto, Kenya Assemblies of God. Yeah.
So currently you are at River of God?
At River of God Church in Parklands on Ojijo Road.
Pastor Tony Kiama.
He's my boss. He's my brother. He's my friend. And I tell you, he's like, you can't understand whether he's your pastor, your friend, your father. By the way, he has been a very great. He's like second father to my children, because for more than 10 years he was what you call them? They're mentoring my children under in the youth church of International Christian Center.
When he was the youth pastor there.
Yes, and not only that, you will be amazed to hear that very rarely it happens that African pastor going to attend the last year 31st May. He was going to attend. He was going to grace the wedding ceremony of my daughter last year, 31st May. But unfortunately, or God knows how, it stopped. It delayed because of all this COVID and all.
Yes.
So it has not happened, but it was planned and was scheduled to be on 31st of May, and he had already booked the flight. So he raised my children together with me, Pastor Tony Kiama.
Pastor Tony Kiama is a good friend. We grew up together.
Yes.
And I also went to St. James Church in Buruburu.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. I don't know. By the way, the St. James is the first church where my wife started giving testimonies, because her amazing recovery from the severe sickness of spondylitis. She was not able to travel. The neck was. Those who know spondylitis, she recovered. Is a great testimony, and that is where she started giving her testimonies, starting from St. James.
Okay, great. So
otherwise she has been shy, but not anymore now.
Not anymore now. That is wonderful. No. That is wonderful. So shortly, Rakesh will talk about what are some of the things you can say God has done in your life. Since you became a Christian and you began serving Him. What are some of the changes? What are some of the things you can say God has done for you? We'll talk about that shortly. It's 21 minutes after 8. Motivation Monday. We are hanging out with Rakesh Sharma. He is an evangelist, sharing with us his journey of faith and some of the things he's learned along the way. If you have any questions for him today, 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. If you're part of River of God Church in Parklands, Pastor Tony Kiama and the congregation there, and you're watching this morning, kindly give Rakesh a shout out. Let him know that you're watching and listening to his testimony today. It is Motivation Monday. Today we are talking about coming from a place of no faith to a place of having strong faith. Even as we remember that Christ came, He died, and He rose from the dead. And because of that, we have life, and even life abundantly. I'm hanging out with Rakesh Sharma. He is an evangelist, and he's sharing with us his testimony, his journey of faith, and it's just amazing. So, Rakesh, when you look back at your life and you think about how you became a Christian connected with God, what are some of the things you can say and some of the changes you can say that God has done in your life?
I think it is hard to say the things. When you call it things, it is hard, because it's like if you tell somebody, can you guess how many buckets of water could be there in an ocean? So I think it is so plenty that, yes, you can count 10, 15, 20 of them, the highlights. But I believe every day when I go to bed, when I wake up, I say, thank you, Lord. It's like a testimony. It's like a blessing. It's a miracle, because I was half dead by the time I went to sleep. And there are things which you do, like especially when you are a driver. I don't really understand. Even just a few weeks back, I have not shared with my wife, and I don't know if she would know through this conversation that I sometimes I'm so careless. There was like a severe bad road accident. There could happen, but because of my carelessness. But sometimes God has saved me many times when I was young. However young I may look today, but imagine 30 years back when how young I was and flying the car as like it's an aeroplane. So I think God has saved me many times. Gun people, like sometimes when you are an accountant, you are going to the bank, you are carrying cash, and even it was almost on the front page back in 3rd January 93. In Nakuru on the main street of Moi Avenue of near Barclays Bank, when I was robbed by 5 gunmen, and then later they were caught, and it was it was not just a robbery, it was like a big thing which never happened in 93. Things happen after 93, but before 93 they were not so much that they had to explode some bombs and a kind of mini bomb, and 3-4 gunshots in the air dispersed all the people from the street. It was a big drama.
Yes.
And I unfortunately what you call it, kind of it's divine that none of them thought of hitting me a small bullet in the leg, or sometimes they don't kill, but they do something to ensure the bag I'm carrying that they don't miss it. So they did not do any bullet, and that's my early days 93, when I really find that that God can do all things. God can do all things. I of course, when you get a beautiful wife, you still think that God can, even at the time of when I got married, that time I was not with faith. But today I realize that when I compared other people with such kind of physical, mental, spiritual beauty in a lady, then I call it that was God. But however, it is not me who are. So I feel like if I just look at my wife, look at my son, look at my daughter, they are not less than an ocean of miracles. They are not less than an ocean of testimonies. Because if I tell you that I got such money, I got such car, those things you can get it even without the grace of God.
Yes.
But there are some things which I wish you will give me some more time or another time when I can share with you the things which it is not even possible with science, with the medical science. Like when my daughter was diagnosed with cancer and she recovered, and today she is so beautiful as before. However, she lost hair and all. So I don't really see that I can give you a list of miracles or testimony. And it is not really because of those achievements or miracles. Before, I think it is that God was really saving me and I did not recognize, and how God is saving my life. And it is actually my life, I can say, because according to me, you can be alive but dead, because when you live a day with stress or depression, you're not alive, you're not fully alive. So you can call there. That's why it is said that it does not matter how many days you have lived, but it matters how much life you have lived in your days.
Wow. I like what you're sharing, Rakesh, because I find that sometimes a good number of us Christians focus so much on things. I look at what you've mentioned. You've talked about family, you've talked about life, you've talked about good health. You've not mentioned things, and there's a statement you said there, you can still get those things even without the grace of God. And I think sometimes as Christians, we miss out on that because our attention is so much on the house or the car or the good job, and we fail to realize that God has preserved my life. God has healed me. God has given me good health. And we look at those things and we think they're not blessings. So I love what you're sharing.
If you allow me to add more, it's not even the life. Let's say if I had lived 70 years or 80 years and today I'm 60 plus, today I'm more even feeling as I achieved, because I have achieved the gift of salvation. our Lord Jesus Christ, he lived only 33 years, but
Yes.
till today people are selling because what he got it. Although he was son of God, it is true that even if he had lived 80 or 30, or it doesn't matter his age, even, but there are many people in life, if you find out from the Google, there are people who lived very short life, but they lived a great life. A great life. Even today, we have people who lived a long life but miserable life. There are
Yes.
people who live very short life, but every day there is a lot of peace. What is more precious in life is whether you live every day with peace and grace or without.
I like that. Wow. What are some of the things you do as an evangelist? You know, do you go out and talk to people about Christ? Do you help out in the church ministries? What are some of the things you participate in?
Okay, to be brief summary, I am not getting a big platform.
Yeah.
I am not getting a big platform, and unfortunately or fortunately, because all things work for the good. And
Yes.
so far, and by the way, it is not even so much. It's only like few years my children have been supporting me, but before I was supporting them. So now I'm not so worried what kind of job or kind of what I earn. It is not so much. It doesn't matter to me so much. That's why for last 2 years back, I was starting with a small institution. We call it, the motto of the institution, we call it transformation lives, and transformation our passion. What we did, that if the young students from 11 to 18, they come to this center and whatever, because I have been from the education field as a teacher.
Yeah.
Later I got into the profession of accountant, and but nevertheless, there is in my heart, when the way there are many people who contributed to bring up my children, especially the pastors, and I feel like I should change. Even now, presently, my wife is a teacher and trying to transform her many lives in a manner that more than education. So I felt the education is the platform. So that is one thing I was doing. Unfortunately, again, I don't know, God knows why. Maybe there is another big door opening. So we closed the institution, and there was some people who were the mothers are telling that this girl, this boy, they don't want to learn at home, but when they come to your center, they really learn, and they feel like coming. So when they are learning, then we also talk about from the word of God, and we share the love of God.
Yes.
And then there is that kind of thing I do. But otherwise, I do the little in the church, like whatever little I can serve. But one thing is for sure, wherever I get an opportunity, I communication with some people, let's say at the bank, at the supermarket, I must tell them my favorite verses, even if you allow me to say one thing so that you can see the sample.
Yeah.
Like I will say, when I see there is nobody in the queue at the supermarket or at the bank, there are times it happens that there is nobody behind, and once you are sorted out, and you know that you will this cashier will remain idle. So can I sing a song? I'm not a singer, but can I? Oh yes. I say, here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you are all God, you are all together worthy, you are all together love. I'll never know how much it costs to take my sin upon that cross. I keep on singing, and then they are amazed, and I tell them. So sometimes I will tell them that this is my desire to worship you, to honor you. All that I adore is in you, and I have your way in me. Lord, have your way in me. I sing and sing, and sometimes it is also humorous. It is laughing, and they are amazed. And then I quote some verses. So I don't know, but sometimes there was time when I was earning some good money and by helping people. By financially, but now it's not because I don't have money, but it's not my money. I don't want to take children because they are also blessing some charity work.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't make sense. I take from my wife and then I bless. But surely I was doing it when I was young. Many many ways financially, but presently I have a, let's say, I keep on changing car stickers. There was a sticker on my car bumper, the car bumper. It was saying, Jesus is the answer. Sometimes I will look for a t-shirt, wearing the t-shirt says, Jesus is my final answer.
Yes.
Even recently, I shared with one of my church colleagues that please get me a sticker on the glass, because I have seen it somewhere. It is possible to have a sticker with God, all things are possible, and I want to paste it. And through your platform, I tell you that I'm really longing to have a car bumper sticker, because that's how it is easy to preach in silence. And presently it says, pray God will hear you. The sticker I have. So I keep on preaching whichever way, but I'm not getting a big platform. That's why I was so blessed to be here with you, and I really longing. And by the way, I'm also in the church in a kind of, they call it leadership.
Yes.
I'm a board member of the church or of the. And I have learned a lot of it. I learned a lot of things of God through the body of board of members. If I was not board of member, I would have not learned different, because I interact with the lead pastor and other pastors more closely than before. And there are times when pastors are busy or something, they give me an opportunity to share the word of God, lunch hour service or something. So wherever I get the opportunity, I do it. But so far, it is not. There is no big platform.
Okay, let me take you back to what you said earlier. When you go to the supermarket or you're at the banking hall, and maybe you share your favorite verse or you sing a song, how do people react?
I tell you, they are so amazed. In fact, somehow it is even. I don't know, you call it good or weird, or the people. Then from that day they start calling me pastor. Even the vegetable market in Gara, then they call me pastor. Come to me, take boga from me. I mean, let's say the open market of this, because I just cannot stop myself. Just let's say I'm trading my sorrows and joy to the Lord. I will just sing 2-3 lines, and people wonder that this is nothing to do with Indians.
Yes. Do they ask you questions how you became a Christian or why you are a Christian?
At times, my very first answer is that I am not a Christian. Because the Christian is a work in progress. It's like a journey. It's journey, and you try to be Christian all of your life, and it is very easy. It's not easy to be perfect. And that is when you are perfect, then you are Christian. But you would wish to be a Christian. So I'm in the journey of being Christian. Yeah.
Wow.
So some of them are really amazed. Some of them, they dare to ask me, but sometimes there are no opportunities. Some of them are shy to ask, but they start calling me pastor after that meeting. So even you can feel it. They are happy next time when you're there. So most of the people are so happy that this man is come. So you wonder.
Wow. From what you're sharing, it comes across that you are the kind of person who's always full of joy. Your perspective towards life is very different. In the last 10 to 15 years, but not all my life. I was miserable. I was hopeless. I was something that I cannot describe in words. But yes, 15 years, yes. Okay, so we'll talk about that joy and that new way of looking at life and how it has transformed you and even the people that you know. We'll look at that shortly. It's about 19 minutes before we get to 9 this morning. We're hanging out with Rakesh Sharma, telling us his testimony and sharing with us his journey of faith. If you have a question for him, 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. I've got Emmanuel from Limuru Road. He's saying we should continue with this conversation all the way until noon because it's Easter Monday and he is listening. Well, Emmanuel, thank you so much for your message. I have Wamboi in Uthiru saying that's a great testimony from Mr. Rakesh. Our greatest testimony is the basic things that God does for us every day in life that we take for granted and yet we cannot live without them. His love good health, food on our table, family, a roof over our heads, just waking up in the morning. God is really, really faithful and His grace abounds. Thank you for sharing that with us, Wamboi. So remember, once again, 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. Motivation Monday, from no faith to faith. Rakesh Sharma with us in studio today, sharing his testimony. Comments coming in. Emmanuel from Madare, you say, I am blessed by Rakesh's testimony today. You're listening in from Madare North. My good friend Timothy Wauba, you say you've just joined the conversation, and for sure, you say God humbles us in His own perfection. And then I have another one here by Terry in Mombasa. You say, you like that Brother Rakesh has a very positive attitude. That way you can only attract people to you. That's transformation indeed. I agree with that. Beatrice, you say, what a wonderful sharing. May God bless Rakesh this morning. One boy from Udhiru, you say, that's a great testimony from Rakesh this morning. So thank you so much for listening in. Keep the SMSs coming through on 20316. WhatsApp on 0786 316 316. So Rakesh, I was asking you earlier,
Before you ask me, I just forgot to mention to you that in the church, I'm also used one of the names. I also use Christopher as when I got baptized after I gave my life, and I chose the name Christopher. So I'm also called even. Yeah, that's why you must have noticed Chris in the email ID. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I was saying earlier, you look like a person who's full of joy. You have got peace in your heart. You're enjoying life. How did that happen, and how has that affected your family and the people around you?
It is not just a one-day thing. It's like every day when I see what my son is going through, what my daughter is going through, and then they are keeping strong. They are keeping like let's say, I'm not really saying that no. Almost everybody goes through some challenges and hardship.
Yeah.
But but there are others who go. I'm sorry. There are others who go through more challenges than others, more severe problems, physical and financial and all. There was time when my son went through some financial problem, my daughter went through some medical, physical problem, and they are keeping strong. My wife went through some kind of problems and even in your social world, you see people are going through and they are keeping strong, and they have lost a very loved one. They have lost a child.
Yeah.
One of my employer got the only child, a son, in road accident. I was so till today I'm so shocked. But so there are things which happen in the world that sometimes we don't realize and take it for granted. But now I chose that whatever happens, as long as I'm not in the grave, I'm still okay. It is there is one verse, a very small verse of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18. I may not be very accurate in the number of verses. It's saying, be joyful always.
Yeah.
So it means, it says that whatever kind of conditions, you be joyful. Always means in hard time surely people are joyful when they are celebrating and when they are happy, when they are promoted, when they are buying things. Even you will hardly see any miserable person, sad person in a supermarket, in a restaurant.
Yeah.
But you may look long faces or down faces in hospitals and prisons and everywhere. So, but it says be joyful. It is not easy, but you have to choose. And which I learned especially from my family members who have contributed a lot to bring me to this level of understanding. And surely the word of God has given me the most.
Wow. I like what you're sharing, because just looking at the situation that we are facing now with this COVID-19 pandemic, churches can't even meet in some places in the country. And it's very easy to get discouraged when you look at what is going around. I don't know what you would tell that person who feels discouraged because of what is happening right now in the world.
You see, life is all to compare. If you just see that you are miserable because there are others who are getting better than you, then you will always be miserable. But if you are comparing your something, not really, it is also a kind of philosophy that if you are comparing to somebody who is in the hospital, who does not have 2 meals, at least you have 1 meal, or there's somebody doesn't have even 1 meal. All those things are comparing. This is kind of philosophy. But the thing is, when things are not in your hand, tomorrow you have to pay the rent, and you have nothing in hand, and you have to pay the rent. So by being stressed, by being depressed is the same as when you are just joyful, and then you may see the miracle, you may look for a solution, your mind can work better. And let's say today I don't have job, but I can be feeling miserable, but I can also assume I could be infected yesterday or last year or last month with the virus, and I'm struggling for breathing in the hospital. So I should not really concentrate on what I don't have. I should look at it what I have. Otherwise, it is not easy to be joyful. Kind of not comparing with the better ones or the worse one, but comparing with myself. I could be in the grave yesterday, so why should I feel sad? There is no rent for tomorrow. God, who can provide in the wilderness, who can, what I would say in nutshell, if you just read the word of God and bring you, then you can understand all that what is possible. Otherwise, it is not possible.
Wow.
You cannot be joyful. You cannot be joyful even in a very great job. You cannot be joyful.
Okay. I want to take you back to something you said earlier when we talked about familiarity. Familiarity breeds contempt. And a good number of people, simply because I was born in a Christian family, we take a lot of things for granted, and we don't even develop that relationship with God. So to that person who may be listening to this interview today or watching us on TV today, and yes, they were born in a Christian family, or even they are not born in a Christian family, what would you tell them in terms of how your journey has been in terms of connecting with God? What are 1 or 2 things you can tell them to help them also to get to that place where they begin this journey of faith as well? They are not just saying, because I was born in a Christian family, I'm okay, or because I believe in this, I'm okay. How can they begin that journey of faith for themselves?
The way when you are employed, the way you are liable to give some 8 hours to your employer, to your boss, because you are paid. In the same way, there is some portion of it, if God has given you the breath for 24 hours, some part of it you must give it to God, whichever God you understand, how you understand. But if you are giving 10%, that's good enough. If you can give less than 10%, sometimes 10% of 24 hours is not easy. But if you spend few minutes, some hours, some part of the day in the morning and in the night, spending in meditation, in reading the word, or listening to the music or worship, things like the things of God, you will not go wrong. You will not go left or right. You will go straight, and then you will say, you have got the victory because you have got the power of God, simply because you have, it's like, just a good example, if you have never been with somebody, you cannot know somebody. You cannot know his even name. You have to sit with someone. So if you cannot sit with God, you cannot know what God can do. So, and you cannot really see the power of God until you sit with him. So I just would say that to have a not successful life, I would say a victorious life, a life with the feeling of victory, that I am a child of God. Yes. I am not going to go into any problem. And even as per many Psalms, or maybe Psalm number 91 and all, then it said, even if I go into the trouble, God will rescue me.
Yes.
He will answer me and give me the gift of long life. So I would say that if you want to have a relationship with your wife or with your children, with your God, you have to sit with them and share with them, say something and listen something, and you will not go wrong.
Okay. Rakesh, my time is almost up for this interview for today. What would your parting shot be to those who are listening?
What I would say that kind of give me a kind of direction by my say there about life, and you take that, just trust in God, rejoice. There is a verse in Romans 12:12 says, rejoice in hope, be patient in your afflictions, and have faith in prayers. Don't pray if you don't have faith, but pray. I would just say a very quick one, that Jesus knew that he is going to be crucified. He came to be crucified, but before he was arrested, he was found praying. And he was praying, and the sweat was coming like the drops of blood. So, and he knew it. So I would say that you pray, even when you know nothing will happen.
Yeah.
You are sure that somebody is right, the gun is at your head, and you never know, the trigger might not work. So you better pray, even when the things are almost, no probability, no scientific possibility, but keep trusting him and praying it. And there is no point of praying when there is no faith. So rejoice in hope and have faith in your prayers, and be patient in your afflictions. You will overcome.
Wow, Rakesh, thank you for finding the time to talk to us this beautiful Monday morning. Indeed, looking at the SMSs that are coming in, your testimony has encouraged so many people. Asante sana.
It's my blessing, it's my pleasure. Thank
Awesome. Well, I'm out of time for this interview for today. I hope that you've been able to take one or two things from what we've shared that have uplifted you and encouraged you.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.